Greetings! Manta79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Gear Days! Alrighty then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now, loading game, and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu. Now let's head over to the edit deck menu. Okay, and now today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is Keter Sanctuaries, Phantom Blaster Dragon, D-BT02. Okay then, let's just get over to empty slot here, create new deck, choosing nation, choosing Keter Sanctuary. Here we are. And now, as I just explained before, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is for the Keter Sanctuaries, Phantom Blaster Dragon, with a deck mainly comprised of cards only up until D-BT02. So okay, let's get started then. First off, we gotta go to Filter, Pack, Show only cards from D-BT01, D-BT02, and Festival Collection 2021, Apply Filter. Okay, let's begin. So first off, the Grade 3 lineup, right deck, Grade 3, Phantom Blaster Dragon. His skills are, first skill, auto. When placed on the Vanguard circle, choose a card with Blaster in its card name from your soul, and you may call it to rearguard circle. And the second skill, action. As a Vanguard, once per turn, cost, counterblast 1 and retire 3 rearguards. If the cost has been paid, choose up to 2 of your opponent's rearguards and retire them. Then this unit gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of turn. So for Phantom Blaster Dragon, he's the main grade 3 to ride in this deck. His first skill, just by riding him on your Vanguard circle, you can superior call any blaster from your soul to the rear guard. And second skill, action, just by counterblasting 1 and retiring 3 rear guards. Not only can you wipe out your opponent's field of their 2 rear guards, but also give your Vanguard plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. So as a standard Shadow Paladin tactic, retire your own rear guards to get power and skill. So for Phantom Blaster Dragon, you're playing 4 of him and putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, we're playing the Grade 3, Knight of War Damage, Pasado. His skills are, first skill, continuous as a rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects, and second skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, you may counter charge 1 and soul charge 1. So for Pasado, he's a pretty helpful card to have in the Keter Sanctuary decks. For his first skill, as a rear guard, he cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects, thus making it like a resist skill, protecting you from your opponent from either returning to hand, locking, retiring, binding, or any skills that target your rear guards. And the second skill, just by landing an attack on either your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, Pasado will let you counter charge 1 and soul charge 1, thus refunding your counter blast for later skills and your soul blast for soul blasting skills. So for Pasado, we're playing 3 of him. And now to the Grade 2 lineup. Off to the Grade 2s. The right deck, Grade 2, Blaster Dart. His skills are, first skill, auto. When placed on the Vanguard circle or rearguard circle, cost, counterblast 1 and retire another rearguard. If the cost has been paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If this unit gets plus drive plus 1 until the end of turn. And the second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your rear guard was retired this turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Blaster Dart, he's the main Grade 2 to ride in this deck. For his first skill, just by riding or calling him, by paying the cost, you can retire your opponent's rear guard. And if this skill was used on your Vanguard will get drive plus 1. This Blaster Dart can perform a twin drive during your turn. And the second skill, just by retiring one of your own rear guards during that turn, Blaster Dart can serve as a 15,000 point attacker from the rear guard. So for Blaster Dart, we're playing 4 of him and putting 1 in the right deck. Next, the Grade 2, Darkness Maiden, Maka. Her skill is auto. When placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard or Blaster in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Then, Soul Blast 1 and retire another rearguard. If the cost has been paid, check the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 Grade 1 or less from among them, and call to rearguard circle, then shuffle your deck. So for Maka, she's a support card for the Blaster series in the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Just by being called onto the rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is a Blaster, she gets plus 5,000 power, making her a 15,000 point attacker from the front row. Then she has an optional skill, just by Soul Blasting 1 and retiring a rear guard, you can then superior call a Grade 1 or less unit from the top 5 cards of your deck, making Maka a good attacker and a good rearguard restalker. So for Maka, we're playing 4 of her. Next up, the Grade 2 Pentagleam Sorceress. Her skill is Auto. For skill, when this unit is written on top of a Hex Orb Sorceress, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in any order you want on the top of your deck. And the second skill, Auto, when placed on the rearguard circle, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or bottom of your deck. If placed on the bottom, this unit gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Pentagleam Sorceress, she's the main Grade 2 to write in the Hex Orb deck, but she can also be used in other Keter Sanctuary decks like the Blaster deck. For her second skill can still be used. Just by calling her to the rearguard circle, you may check the top card of your deck and place it in the top or bottom, so you have a chance of looking to see if you have a trigger coming up in your drive check, or to place a card in the bottom to make Pentagleam a 12,000 point attacker from the front row. So for Pentagleam, we're playing 3 of her. Next up, the Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1s in this deck, we have Right Deck, Grade 1, Blaster Javelin. His skills are, for skill, Auto, when written on top of by Blaster Dart, reveal the top card of your deck and call to the rearguard circle as rest if it is a unit card, if it is, and discard it if it isn't. And the second skill, continuous as a rearguard. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard Blaster in its card name, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. So for Javelin, he's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. The first skill, just by riding Blaster Dark on top of him, you can superior call the top card of your deck as to the rearguard circle as long as it's a unit card. So giving you costs to pay for Blaster Dark's skill and the second skill. Just by having a Blaster Vanguard, your rearguard Javelin can serve as a 10,000 point attacker or a 10,000 point booster. So for Javelin, we're playing 3 of him and putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 1 Witch of Pandering, Bruner. Her skill is continuous as a rearguard. If you have a Vanguard or Blaster in its card name, when this unit will be retired by your own card's cost, it may be regarded as 2 rearguards. So for Bruner, she's a good support card for the Phantom Blaster decks, which require you to retire your own rearguards. For she herself can count as 2 rearguards at once, thus reducing the number of cards you need to retire for Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. So for Bruner, we're playing 4 of her. And then next up, the Grade 1 Black Sage Karen. His skill is Auto. When placed in the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard Blaster in its card name, cost, rest this unit. If the cost has been paid, look at the top card of your deck. If it is a unit card, call it to the rearguard circle. At the end of the turn, retire that called unit, put it on the top of your deck if you do not call. So for Black Sage Sharon, he's a good support card for the Blaster Dark series, which requires you to retire your own rearguards. Since by resting him, you can superior call the top card of your deck, and then use it as cost to pay for either Blaster Dark, Maka, or Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. But Karen can also serve as a substitute Pentagleam Sorceress. Just by using a skill, if you choose not to call, you have a chance of checking to see if the top card of your deck is a trigger or not, thus making it more likely for you to deal more damage or to get a trigger effect that will support you later on. So for Karen, we're playing 4 of him. Next up, the Grade 1 Aegis Mare Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. His skills are, first skill, continuous, Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Sentinel in your deck. And second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the guardian circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, he's like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. Just by guarding with him and discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block one enemy attack. But he also features an ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When you guard with him and you have 1 or less cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, thus making Aegis Mare a no-cost perfect guard in desperate and last-minute situations. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, we're playing 4 of him. And now to the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s, right deck, Grade 0, Full Bow. His skill is Auto. When this unit is written on top of, if you went second, draw a card. So for Full Bow, he's the starting unit of this deck. Just by riding on top of him, if you went second, you can draw a card. So for Full Bow, we're playing 1 and putting it in the right deck. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing There we go. We're playing Grade 0, Knight of Heavenly Hammer, Gurgit, critical trigger. We're playing 4. And then the Grade 0, White Fang Witch, Disma, critical trigger. We're playing 4. And then what else? The draw trigger, Grade 0, Exalting Knight, Ifrit, draw trigger. We're playing 3 of her. And then let me just craft these cards, and then here we go. The Grade 0, Healer of Heavenly Staff, Arshis, heal trigger. We're playing 4 of her. And last but not least, the Grade 0, Light Dragon, Deity of Honors, Amritonia, over trigger. His skill is trigger, additional effect. Until the end of the turn, you also perform drive checks for the battles your rearguard attacks. And so for Amritonia, he's the over trigger for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other over trigger in the D standard format, you just save activation effect. Just by revealing it in a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But he also has an effect that's unique to him. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, your rear guards during that turn can also drive check. Thus, with Amritonia, he's a good card to use in Keter Sanctuary if you specialize in having a lot of rear guards. As long as you got 2 more front row rear guards to attack with, those 2 rear guards can drive check as well. So for Amritonia, we're playing 1 of him, and there we go. The deck has been built, cards explained, so let's just save the deck. And now, after having just explained the deck's build and card effects, so for the cards in this deck build, we're playing 3, Grade 3, Knight of War Damage, Fasado. 4, Grade 3, Phantom Blaster Dragon. 3, Grade 2, Pentagleam Sorceress. 4, Grade 2, Darkness Maiden, Maka. 4, Grade 2, Blaster Dart. 4, Grade 1, Aegis Mare Dragon. 4, Grade 1, Witch of Pandering, Bruner. 3, Grade 1, Blaster Javelin. 4, Grade 1, Black Sage, Karen. 8, critical triggers. 3, draw triggers. 4, heal triggers. 1, over trigger, Amritonia. And the starting unit of this deck, Grade 0, Full Bow. Alrighty, the deck has been built, card effects explained. Now let's get on to testing out the deck. So first off, let's change the deck's name first. So change deck name, rename. I can only fit 10 letters, so Phantom Blaster is too long. Then just name it P Blaster. There we go, saved. Now just change the deck sleeves, change sleeves. For the card sleeves in this deck, I'm playing Okay, I'll play the Keter Sanctuary sleeve as the main deck sleeve. Press A. And then I guess we'll use the What to use? I guess I'll use a Golden Vanguard Circle card sleeve as the right deck sleeve. Press Y. Okay. Deck built, cards explained, deck renamed, and card sleeve changed. Let's go to testing out the deck. Back to the main menu. Over to fight menu. CPU fight. And now choosing the new deck I just built over here. Now for my opponent, I think I'm gonna fight. Who will be a good choice? I guess I'll fight Masaru Kita, normal difficulty. Okay, the battle begins. Let's get started. And now deciding who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to rock. I win, going first. Drawing my starting hand. I'm gonna send 2 critical triggers and Aegis Mirror back to my deck. Redraw. Okay. Alright, my turn. I draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, Blaster Javelin, and I discard. I'll discard Darkness Maiden Lockup for the right deck cost. Right, Blaster Javelin. End the turn. My opponent's turn. He rides. Grade 1, Deep Sonicer. Skill, he soul charges. Okay. Base skill, he draws an extra card. Now, battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, take the attack. Damage, drive check. No trigger. Okay. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. Okay. Now it's my turn. I draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, Blaster Dart. And I'm going to discard a heal trigger, so right deck cost. Right. Blaster Dart. Blaster Dart skill. No wait. Javelin skill. I'm going to Superior Call a top card of my deck as rest. The top card is Black Sage Karen. Call to the rear guard. Blaster Dart skill. Counterblast and retire Karen. I retire an opponent's rear guard and increase Blaster Dart's drive check. And there we go. Next up, I call Blaster Dart. Blaster Javelin. And Bruner to the rear guards. And now beginning battle phase. First off, Javelin attacks the Vanguard, 10k. Attack goes through, damage check. No trigger, we're safe. And now boosted by Bruner, Blaster Dark attacks. 15,000 power, 2 drives. Alright, the attack goes through, twin drive, first check. No trigger. And second check. No trigger. Okay. My attack lands. Slash. 1 damage. Ah, critical trigger. No! My attack does not go through. Alright, that's the end of my turn. My opponent rides Electro Spartan and calls Keter. Okay. Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard. No trigger. We're safe. The attack goes through. Damage check. Critical trigger. Yes. I give all effects to my rear guard, Blaster Dart. And now another attack from his rear guard. No guard. Take the hit. Ow. Damage check. Critical trigger. Ah, wasted trigger. All effects to my Vanguard. Alright, my turn. Stand and draw. I'm going to ride Phantom Blaster Dragon from the right deck. I discard Blaster Dark as the right deck cost. Right, Phantom Blaster Dragon. Phantom Blaster skill. I Superior Call a Blaster from my soul. I Superior Call Blaster Dark over here. Not gonna activate Blaster Dark skill. Then I switch the positions of Javelin and Blaster Dark. And now I'm going to activate Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. Counterblast, retire 3 regards. I retire Javelin and Bruner. Count as 2 regards. Yes. Retire. Skill activated. One rear guard down and power to my Vanguard. And critical. And Blaster Dark gets power as well. Next up, I call Bruner to the rear guard. Over here. And now, battle phase. First off, Blaster Dark from the right attacks the Vanguard, 15k. He guards, 15k, okay. Alright, next boosted by No wait, my Vanguard Phantom Blaster Dragon attacks the Vanguard. 23k, 2 crits. Yes, the attack goes through. Twin Drive, first check, no trigger. And second check. Yes, critical trigger. I give the critical to my Phantom Blaster Dragon, power the Blaster Dart. Effects added, and now 3 damage to my opponent. Here it comes. Bam, and 3 cards. Damage check first, no trigger. Second check, no trigger. And third check. Yes, no trigger. And now boosted by Bruner, Blaster Dark attacks the Vanguard, 30,000 power. Perfect guard, oh no. Here it comes, perfect guard, he discards Barrel Magnus. Alrighty, that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. Here comes Master of Gravity, Barrel Magnus. He skills, Soul Charge. He calls, skill, Soul Charge. And calling another rear guard, skill, Soul Charging. Alright, rear guard to Vanguard. No guard, take the attack. And out, 1 damage, damage check. No trigger. Barrel Magnus attacks the Vanguard. I perfect guard with Aegis Mare. And activating skill, I'm going to discard a critical trigger for the perfect guard. First check, heal trigger. Oh no, he heals. And power the rear guard. Second check. Oh come on, a draw trigger, double trigger. Seriously? He adds more power. And okay, perfect guard it. Now for my opponent's attack. I do not guard. Here comes the attack. Slash out. Damage check. No trigger. Alright, now it's my turn. I stand and draw. Draw trigger. Alright, I'm going to Persona Ride Phantom Blaster Dragon. Here it comes. I activate Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. I superior call a blaster from my soul. I superior call Blaster Javelin to the right. Next up, I'm going to call Draw Trigger F3 to the center column. Then I activate Phantom Blaster Dragon skill, Counter Blast 1. I retire F3 and Bruner, counters 2 rear guards. Retire. I retire 2 of my opponent's rear guards. I retire both his rear guards, 1 and 2. And give power and critical to my Vanguard. 33,000 power, 2 criticals, okay. And now beginning battle phase. First off, Phantom Blaster Dragon attacks the Vanguard. Perfect guard, oh no. Keep perfect guards, okay. Twin Drive, first check. Yes, heal trigger. I heal 1 damage and give the power to Blaster Dark on the left. And second check. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give all effects to the Blaster Dark on the right. Okay, the attack is blocked, and now boosted by Blaster Javelin, Blaster Dark on the right attacks the Vanguard. 45,000 power, 2 criticals. No, another perfect guard. He perfect guards with a heal trigger, okay. This is not good, okay. Blaster Dark attacks the Vanguard, 35k. 1 damage, damage check. Heal trigger. But this time he heals again, oh come on. Alright, that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. He Persona Rides. Barrel Magnus, oh no. Okay, he has no rear guards, he cannot activate his Vanguard skill. I perfect guard with Aegis Mare Dragon. Activate Aegis Mare skill. I discard from my hand a critical trigger and perfect guard. Oh come on, another heal trigger. Now it's back to 3 damage. Seriously? Check. No trigger. Okay. Okay. Blocked. Now it's my turn. I stand and drop. Okay. I'm going to Persona Ride Blaster, Phantom Blaster Dragon. And activate Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. I Superior Call Phantom Blaster Dragon from my soul to the rear guard. Next up, I call Pentagleam Sorceress. I activate Pentagleam skill. Check the top card of my deck. It's a Pasado, put to the bottom of the deck. Alright, next up, I activate Phantom Blaster Dragon skill. I counterblast 1, and I retire Phantom Blaster Dragon, Pentagleam Sorceress, and Blaster Dart. Here comes my skill. I add power and critical. Next, I call Pasado to the rear guard. And beginning battle phase. First up, Pasado attacks the Vanguard, 23k. Ah, he guards. Alright, now Phantom Blaster Dragon attacks the Vanguard, 33k, 2 crits. Double guard, 43, 1 trigger to pass. Okay, drive check first. No trigger. And second check, come on. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give all effects to my Vanguard. Alright, the attack goes through, 3 damage. And crash! 3 damage. First check, no trigger. Second check, critical trigger, waste it, okay. As long as he doesn't get a heal trigger or an over trigger, that critical will be wasted, so check. Yeah, no trigger, 6 damage, I win. That was a pretty close match. So I got some VP, win, double trigger, attack 40,000 or more power, perfect guarded, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns passed, did a Superior Call, and retired 5 or more opposing units. I got 2100 VP, obtained a total of 6800 VP, press A to go next. Returning to the fight menu, leaving fight menu, back to main menu, going to edit deck menu, and now I've just pretty much explained the deck's build, card effects, and tested out the deck in front of you. So with that, that's about all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.